Welcome back to Cancer Buzz. I'm your host, Summer Johnson. ACCC recently hosted its 40th Annual National Oncology Conference, gathering multidisciplinary oncology leaders from all across the nation to discuss the latest trends and share creative solutions to pressing challenges in cancer care. This year's theme was Reimagining Innovation. And a very popular issue at NOC this year was better integration of biomarker results into EHRs. In fact, professionals gathered before the conference at the EHR Working Summit to discuss challenges and workaround solutions, such as how to integrate IT processes, streamline biomarker test ordering, and better manage results. That EHR Summit included a case study presentation from Karen Huelsman. She's a genetic counselor and precision oncology lead at TriHealth Cancer and Blood Institute in Cincinnati. She serves on the EHR Integration Program Advisory Committee, and she was a discussion group co-lead at the summit. Karen, what was the aim of the EHR Integrations for Biomarker Testing Working Summit?
We had many sites across the nation gathered. We all shared information about how we were able to gain executive level support for EMR integration. We discussed building, ordering, and building reporting methodologies within several different EHR systems. And then we also looked at how to manage test results. Upon EMR integration, the test results can come back in a structured format, such as a PDF, but also in discrete variants. And we needed to have a conversation about best ways to build reporting using these new resulting methods.
What were some of the barriers discussed?
Well, there are a lot of barriers to EMR integration. I think some of the key barriers would include limited staffing on the IS and technical teams. I mean, that's, number one ingredient. Funding is an important element, having enough FTEs to create a team. Having knowledgeable data engineers and project coordinators is also an important element in getting started. And then, my own background is as a genetic counselor. And so, I found that trying to include some level of clinical input for any new integration implementation team, it's really important to include the clinical aspect, and those are not always available.
What can cancer programs do to better integrate those testing and results into EHR?
Yeah, so I think it's important to start with the clinical team and identify, which lab or laboratories that the clinicians are wanting to use. There are a lot of different options. So I think that would be number one if you can get alignment from the clinical side. I think also just learning about what's available from your preferred lab or laboratories as far as build types. Some laboratories offer a point-to-point connection called HL7, and some only offer Aura. So finding out, what's available and any kind of prior history that the laboratory has with EMR integration. I think also looking at internal processes for biomarker testing within your hospital system. So, for example, is, ordering being done, by pathologists at the time of cancer diagnosis at the microscope, or a biomarker test being ordered by the medical oncologist or clinical navigators. And so I think, once you gather all of those pieces of information and ingredients, I think you're well poised to move forward to the next step, which is actually, accomplishing the integration.
What do you think is the most valuable part of everyone gathering together in a working summit to work through these challenges to take back to their own cancer centers?
Well, I think during the summit, we saw that there were folks on, varying parts of the process. I think some were very early on, feeling frustrated with even just getting started with EMR integration. I think some folks, from different centers were kind of midway where they had gotten started with implementation, but run into some barriers that were stalling the process. And then there were, other centers who really had already fully implemented with their EHR and were already using active and live ordering and resulting techniques. And, I think at the very forefront were centers who were already building reports that use discrete variants and, showing the uptake of utilization by their ordering providers.
Thank you so much for your time today, Karen. If you'd like to hear more about the recent ACCC 40th Annual National Oncology Conference, you can go back into the Cancer Buzz channel on your favorite podcast platform and search for all of those episodes called Live from NOC in October 2023. For more information on the EHR Integration Education Program, you can visit the show notes. This episode was made possible with support by AstraZeneca and Genentech. We'll be back next week with more fresh perspectives in cancer care. Until then, I'm Summer Johnson.
This show is a resource of the Association of Community Cancer Centers.